Hello world, Mike White here with another quick Bitcoin video, and today I just wanted to have a quick discussion about the amount of venture capital, the money that's flowing into blockchain and Bitcoin related companies. And here we've just got a pretty basic graph that's going for the last 4 years, and you can see that it's basically gone from just a couple of $1 million back in 2012 to almost $500 million raised already in the year 2015. Now this was made over a month ago, and I think there's another 20 or so $million which has been invested in other companies. But just having a look at this graph, you can see that for the last 2 years, the amount of money that's been raised was more than the equivalent that was raised in the internet back in 1995. Now, to be fair, realistically, that $250 million would probably be, given, say, 3% inflation, closer to $450 million. So if we have a look at that graph there, it just changes it a little bit. It's still basically on par what we've raised already so far this year with what the internet did back in 1995 when it was exploding all around the world. Now, to go a little bit deeper with this, if we have a look at what that money could actually do, what could be created and how innovative, or the innovative power that 450 million could have done in 1995, realistically, things were so much slower. We didn't have the internet to send all the information around because we were making the internet. And to actually create a general, really basic website for companies would cost around about $50,000. So, and now you can do that for a fraction of the cost. Even a couple of $100, you can be up with quite a decent website. And if you want to hire a professional to do, whiz bang things, you can be really up and running with around $5,000. So let's say, for example, that the innovative power is 10 times more now, or it was 10 times less back in 1995, because things would cost over 10 times more. So if we have a look at that, we can see that already the amount of innovative power that is going in to Bitcoin and blockchain related companies is almost 10 times, or coming up to 10 times now, what was back 20 years ago. So this really is an amazing thing to sit back and realize how fast things are going to happen. If you go back in history, you can have a look at how long it actually took for massive technologies to take on. And before we could even speak, it took maybe say 100,000 years for us to speak, to have verbal communication. And then after that, it was only about 10,000 years before we could actually have the ability to write, by doing drawings and putting characters on stone and things like that. And it took around 400 years for the printing press to take hold around the world and be used as a general purpose tool for printing books and all those kind of things. Then we had things like the internet, obviously, mobile phones, which took around 20 or so years, and then we had Facebook, which took I think it was only 4 or 5 years before it reached over 1 billion people in the world, which is amazing. And so the amount of innovative power that's going into Bitcoin and blockchain technology companies now is massive. Things are going to be moving really, really fast. I think it's a really exciting place to even just have a hobby and be interested in, and just pay attention to things on the sidelines, or jump in, full hog and be involved as much as you can. But either way, I think this is really interesting stuff. If you haven't got any Bitcoin at the moment and you'd like to get started, there's a link below which will show you how you can get $50 Bitcoin for free from Coinbase. And if you have any questions, please post them below. If there's any questions regarding Bitcoin or arguments, for or against, that you'd like me to discuss, just let me know in the comments below as well. And we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.